Yeah. Yo, straight from the depths of Queens, leave you sleeping on the mezzanine like you Lincoln.
Call of Duty Zombies is a fairly intricate and complex story with diverse maps, perks, and weapons. So much so that I took it upon myself to create a series in which I explain to the best of my ability every aspect of the game. Not only to help you, the viewer, but also to expand my own knowledge and skill into the game. What is going on, everybody? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Call of Duty Zombies in Depth. This particular episode is going to be a bit different. Since Riese is the final map of World at War, I'm going to be recapping the previous maps in this specific game, while also going over key storyline points of those maps, simply because I failed to do that in those specific videos. Also, two things before we start. I will be using Black Ops 3 footage, but referencing World at War when it comes to the story, unless stated otherwise. And finally, if you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I highly recommend watching those before, just to get a sense of what this series is. A playlist will be linked in the description. Now, on with the video. It's very evident that upon its release, Nocturne had very little to no storyline behind it at all. Sure, there was an Easter egg song, but most every other map has that, other than some later retconning for future plans like the pylons being connected to transit, or the characters we play as being 4 American soldiers delivering Experimental 115. The writing on the stairs, "You must ascend from darkness," was all that we had to hope for a deeper story. Verrückt intrigued many, capitalizing on the small but rapidly growing cult following the mode had at the time. Bits and pieces of the storyline later to be fleshed out were added. The mystery box's teddy bear and creepy sound when moving to a different location, and insane and weird writings on the wall like "Teddy is the biggest liar," or the numbers 1938, 24, 06, 921, later to be recognized as the date and time of June 24th, 1938, the day a meteor exploded 12 miles above Chicora, Pennsylvania. All of these additions and more brought many questions amongst the community and kept them interested. Shinonuma expanded upon the possibility of some real-life conspiracy theories regarding Tunguska, an event where another meteor had exploded above a remote part of Russia containing and spreading element 115. Peter McCain was also introduced as the hanging man in the spawn room with a mysteriously missing left hand, which leads people to believe that he had been at Verrückt with the help of some radios and a severed hand left on the power switch in Verrückt. This was also the first map to feature our 4 main characters, with bio readings for each. And there you have it, a brief summary of each map leading up to the final DLC of World at War. Enter Riese. Riese was released on August 6th, 2009, and the community was finally shown where this game mode could go. Verrückt and Shinonuma did add a few bits and pieces of gameplay elements and storyline, but the original Riese was the rest of the iceberg below the surface. Things like teleportation, pack punch, and monkey bombs were introduced into this map, while still including a lot of those core assets from the previous maps, like the mystery box, the power system, and dogs. It's easy to look back at this map and laugh at it for its glitches and subpar graphics compared to today's game, but back then, this map blew the lid off of what Zombies was contained to, and no longer had to be a side project, something to add in after the fact. It was its own story, its own game. Many looked at the mode afterwards as not just a mode, but a separate entity entirely. The pieces were finally coming into place. For many, Riese was seen as the true starting point of the storyline. Sure, previous maps had a few Easter eggs and questions brought up about Group 935 and Tunguska, but Riese expanded upon the idea of Nazi influence on projects held at the time to further research on weapons unlike any other at the time. The Wunderwaffe, which made its introduction in Shinonuma, made its appearance in Riese yet again along with a backstory. Supposedly, it was a product of the weaponization of the teleporters found in the map. Its success brought along a goal of mass production in order to aid in the fight along the zombie horde. The teleporters were also given some sort of depth. Other than being the quest in order to turn on Pack-a-Punch, they were also very dangerous. Dr. Richtofen put this on display while experimenting on himself while using them. They induced him with the images and hallucinations caused by element 115, which was being used to power these teleporters. And yes, even the Hellhounds are given a backstory.
Well, open the door! Doctor, I don't think... Open the door, now! told you never to come in here. Edward, get her out of here. Yes, Doctor.
What's wrong with her? Daddy, what did you do? Lottie!
Come back here, Samantha! Stop her! Easy. Come here, Samantha. Good girl, Flossie. Gently, Samantha. That's not Flossie anymore. We must get out of here. What? Edward, what are you doing? Open the door! Edward, open this door now!
I'm scared.
God, no! Stay by me, Samantha! Goodbye, Dr. Maxis.
This radio assumes that the hellhounds we see in the game are a creation of Dr. Maxis, whose sole intention of giving his daughter a pet was so that it could be used later as a test subject. Many other storyline details are suggested, like the scientists actually being able to control the zombies for a brief period of time, and Richtofen turning on his team for a greater, more evil conquest. Oh, and did I forget to mention this map was the first to have an in-game Easter egg, like the whole quest and all. Well, because it has that too. And finally, the map. What can I say that hasn't already been said? Of course, with the introduction of Pack-a-Punch, strategies changed and certain weapons became useful way past their original drop-off rounds. This allowed for a much more diverse way of playing zombies and again showed the community zombies was being worked on, tweaked, and innovated. The monkey mobs added another layer of mechanics, allowing the players to get out of certain situations originally thought to be impossible, and a layout that, if perfected by the player, could be used as a whole to back then efficiently horde zombies. The 4 regional perks were brought back, and in the Black Ops 1 version, Mule Kick was added. The Black Ops 3 version had arguably the biggest changes to it, and even though they may not have been for the best, were accepted by a large amount of the community. Perks were now randomized, and Gobblegums were added in order to fit the Black Ops 3 theme. With its own unique Pack-a-Punch skin until the introduction of Zombies Chronicles, the Giant stood out from the rest by being a beginner's guide to Black Ops 3 zombies, and personally my favorite marketing tactic to intrigue not only the older player base that had left, but a new player base that wasn't up for the adventure that was Shadows of Evil, and for those that stuck around were treated with some of the best installments zombies had to offer. All iterations of Der Riese are welcome in my book, but just in general the map was a huge success. A map that has as many remakes as Nuketown and all in all brings that same fast-paced yet simple gameplay. But I do agree that the map has its limits and at some points should be left to age. I don't know about you guys, but for me, Der Riese and its many iterations are an instant classic for me and are a perfect way to introduce your friends and your family members to the zombies experience, and to any FPS fanatic who hasn't experienced zombies yet, hand them this map, preferably on the BO1 or the BO3 engine. World at War just didn't age well and should really be left in the past. I think that one is fine where it is and has the most nostalgia for the most people, but all in all, Der Riese and its many iterations are a great experience for anybody new to zombies. But there you have it, my in-depth analysis for Der Riese in all iterations of Call of Duty Zombies, and I think it really has aged well, but again, should really be left in the past. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to boost my confidence even a little bit, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and as always, that's going to be it for the video. Peace.